All right, so here we are with the Focus RS. I'm just doing a quick exterior review and interior. It's a little dirty, so I apologize. But otherwise, everything's holding up really well. One thing I noticed that I'm not a huge fan of is that crap always gets stuck down in here. Not the end of the world, but it will tend to annoy you. But it's not a big deal. Everything's holding up well. No dings or dents that I've noticed so far. Again, it's a little dirty, so I'll try to clean it off. Brakes and calipers look awesome. Mirrors are still good. Everything's fine. Door handles aren't getting all wonky or anything yet. So far, so good. I'm getting little RS gel inserts for this right here. They're pretty popular. I got them from a guy on Facebook who does a website from Australia, and he will ship them to the US, and it's not expensive, but I'm gonna have to wait. It said 4 or 5 weeks for shipping. I'm about 2 weeks waiting, so shouldn't be too terribly long. Let's see. So getting into the car here, I'll give you the little rundown on the interior. I really like the door panels. I like the blue stitching right here. It looks really nice. Door handles are nice with the little red lights in here, so you can find them easy. There's red underlighting in the car. You can't see it great right now, but it looks nice. Aesthetically pleasing. Door handles are pretty solid. I mean, it's just a door handle, but lock buttons are great. I like that they put them back on the door, unlike the Fiesta, which only had them on the dash up here. I got the little Sony sound system. Vents are just plastic vents. Nothing really fancy to them. You got the little defrosting vents here too. I like the wheels for shutting it off. It's just a nice touch. Stitching on the steering wheel is really nice. Holds up good. I like the bottom of the steering wheel being flat. Gives it more of a sporty feel. And you got the RS badges all over the place. One thing with the pedals I put some grip tape on the gas pedal because it was a bit slippery. Threw some WeatherTechs in just to keep it a little cleaner. You've got the little light assembly here. They do make little custom overlays for this, so you can get a blue RS overlay for this if you want. I'm not going to. Just general buttons and everything. You can adjust your suspension right here with the switch on the indicator arm. Gauges are okay. They're not amazing, but everything looks pretty nice in the car. I'm getting used to it. Sorry about the glare there. One complaint is these gauges up here. A lot of people are not a huge fan of them. The boost gauge right in the middle there, not fantastic for looking at while you're driving. Definitely more partial to using the Cobb tuner to see your max boost and everything, and to monitor all your gauges. Going back to the steering wheel real quick, one thing that is different with the Fiesta versus this is that they moved these controls around. I got really used to pushing the voice button to make phone calls and whatnot, and the volume controls. So these are switched from the Fiesta ST. Cruise is a little annoying to get used to at first, but it's okay. Like any car, it just takes some getting used to. I would definitely say one of my complaints is that when I have my phone on here, and I've got the 8S, so or the 8 Plus rather, so it's pretty big, and it covers up a lot of these controls down here. And I wish they would have perhaps swapped these, maybe make the radio, I know that sounds silly, but maybe put the radio down here and the AC controls up top, because when you're driving, it is a little annoying to come down and hit the fan buttons here and here. Dual climate control is really nice, but I don't like those fan buttons where they're at, but it's not a big deal, and everything's pretty instantaneous with the AC controls. I do not have the heated steering wheel option, but if you do, I think they are split up top here, so you'll have the heated steering wheel and then the stop start off button with these two below it. Everything's pretty simple. I really like this tray because it actually comes out of the center console behind me, and you can take it and stick it up in here, and it fits snug. And I mean, with aggressive driving, it doesn't fly out. Nothing's creaking bad. When I pull and push on stuff, I mean, up here you might get a little bit, but it feels to be pretty good build quality. Nothing I'm going to complain about. I did get a new shift knob. I didn't like the stock one. I like that the handle is actually here on the Focus RS when your buddy is riding with in the front. Don't have them in the rear, unfortunately. Small complaint. I love having a sunglasses holder up here. That's super nice. One complaint up here is that when you floor it, this will pop open slightly, and it's not a big deal. It doesn't really bother you, but if you're not used to it, it just kind of annoys you a little bit. Not a big deal though. So when you floor it, that'll just kind of pop open like that. Vanity mirrors are just fine. Nothing really fancy to them. That was weird. And overall, I like the interior. I like the dash. It's kind of swoopy and nice, and it is reminiscent of the base model Focus, but the door panels look really nice. The seats look fantastic. I love all the blue stitching. Very pleasing. I'm trying to think of anything else with the interior that I've noticed. I got since I never use CDs anymore, I got this at Target for about $20, and it holds in here super steady, and it goes into your CD player, and then this just tightens up, and you don't want to go ham on it, but it's pretty good. And then with the Cobb tuner, I just got one of these sticky magnetic holders at O'Reilly's, I think, for $5-6, and then just Velcroed the two pieces together. So I stuck one onto the dash and then Velcroed the backs together, and that works really well. And it's kind of nice to have them interchangeable because I have a phone magnet mount, and then with that, and it stays fine. I mean, through aggressive driving, it doesn't go flying anywhere. Not a huge fan of the I mean, for volume it's fine, but the tune buttons are, I never really use them a whole lot. I just use the presets on the steering wheel, which work just fine. Wiper controls work good. No complaints there. Wipers were a little squeaky for the first couple weeks, and when they broke in, they were a lot better. Going down to the cup holders, one thing I have noticed is that these do go in a specific way. You can tell that one of the thirds on this little wedge insert here goes to the middle, and they're okay, but I'll tell you right now, you will spill coffee all the time in this. I mean, you can see I even just tried to wipe it out so it wouldn't be as nasty, and there's still a little annoying coffee stain there. And I mean, you put a full cup of coffee there and accelerate away, and you're going to be spilling. But overall, I really like how the interior works. I'm pleased with it. I don't have any complaints. The seats were very stiff upon entry. You get the little Sony tweeters up there. Speakers are really good. The stock sound system is okay. The mirror's really cheap. One thing I wish they would put in is auto dimming, and maybe that's on some of the more loaded editions, but it is incredibly bright when there's a truck behind you, so I wish they would have put something a little more fancy in for that. The little LED lights are okay. I mean, they're simple LED lights, but they do the trick. That was annoying. So there's one thing, but more or less, really like the interior. I'm pleased with it. I don't have a lot of complaints. These gauges are not very great. They could have definitely done something cooler. I mean, hell, they could have just thrown in some pod mounts there, or pod clusters. That'd be cool. But I don't know if they didn't have the money or it's safety related. The pillar over here does not get in the way of your peripherals at all. So one thing I really like is that I can look over my shoulder and shoulder check really easily. Excellent visibility in the car. The swooping windshield comes down and you can see really nice. I like how this works right here. I got my little GoPro mount, but it just looks really nice. And everything works out really well from the driver position, which I really like about this car. But if you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. I'll hop to the back here real quick and we'll take a look at that. It's pretty simple, but also nice. So when you're just stepping in the car, it's more or less simple. I mean, it's like I said, reminiscent of a base model Focus, but it is a Focus RS at the end of the day, so you should expect that. But I really like the overall look, and you can really feel the tech they put into the car. Same thing in the back. Door panels look nice. You got the blue stitching. Pretty simple. I haven't had a lot of passengers back here. The seats are really nice looking. I love the stitching. It just doesn't get old for me. Headrests are good quality. They fold down super easy. Door panels look really nice. I've got the front seat all the way back, and I can actually still fit my legs back there. I mean, believe it or not, I can. But yeah, it's enough space. From the driver position, I can get in here pretty comfortable. So with my seat the way it is, I can hop back here, and it's kind of nice because I can actually see out of the front of the car without too much difficulty. And the center console looks nice. There's a little cubby back here for putting stuff in. Yeah, well thought out interior. I like that they put the little boot on the e-brake right here, unlike the Fiesta ST where I was constantly losing things down there, which was frustrating to say the least. But and they did put the little pocket mirrors in right there for checking your blind spots. People complain about them. I'm getting used to them, and I really like them actually. It is nice as a little extra safety aid. And I definitely am not going to complain about it because I think it's nice. And then there's the little leather inserts behind the seats here, which look nice, and the stitching everywhere. Seat belts are good quality. They're not uncomfortable at all. You got the little hooks back here for garments and whatnot. yeah, the back seats are pretty comfortable, actually. I've had pretty positive reviews. It is very bouncy, so that'll be your number one complaint when owning this car. But for the most part, interior and exterior of the car is beautiful. I don't have any huge complaints on it. And this is from the about 3 months of owning it, how I feel about it. So no cheap plastic falling off anywhere. I've heard other experiences with that, but for the most part, it's holding up quite nicely, and I really appreciate what Ford did with this car, and I'm sad to see him going away. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments for me or you want me to take a video of something specific, feel free to let me know, and I will. Thanks. A quick comment I have to make on the rear end here is that the first thing I did was take out the big over panel thing for like hiding things in the trunk of your car. If you like that, more power to you. I took it out right away because on my Fiesta I bent it up pretty good when I went to trade it in. That was something they looked at unfavorably. But for the most part, the rear is just a big spacious hatchback. I can fit plenty of things in here. It's not a truck, so don't expect it. Another touch I really like is they put handles on both sides here, as you can see, so it closes really easily and firmly, which I do like. So a nice feature there that they decided to throw in. I was thinking of eventually doing LED turn signals and brake lights, but we'll see if the money permits, and I would love to get a shark fin antenna. This is one thing I can't stand that Ford seems to not be able to get away from, is these ugly antennas, and they make stubby antennas, but I'd love the shark fin antenna. I think that would look really nice. Other than that, no big plans other than tint and maybe some more Cobb stuff, but we'll see. Loving the car so far.